Well, guys, man, our man GBUSH, man, he let the guns out on this one. Man, GBUSH totally disrespects the Cleveland media in the worst way. And the reason why he had to do what he had to do is because of everything surrounded around this Brendan Sorsby supplemental draft, where the Cleveland media and these insiders thinking that the Cleveland Browns should put a bid on Brendan Sorsby. And we heard GBUSH on UCSS yesterday how he had to cook, slice, and glaze Adam the Bull. Now, today on UCSS, they had Crawford on there today, Jason Lloyd, and Adam the Bull. And they still was talking about this Brendan Sorsby situation on how he should be punished and the possibility of the Cleveland Browns putting a bid on him in the supplemental draft and drafting him. They're so fixated on this Brendan Sorsby situation that GBUSH had to take matters in his own hand and he had to eviscerate them. And GBUSH, he didn't appear on UCSS. GBUSH did it in a way where they can read and dissect and keep going back to what GBUSH has said. And GBUSH did this on his Twitter platform. And you know we're going to unpack it all right after this.
I will talk about. What's up, K-Sap? Yeah. James Ford, that's me. Let me talk to him. Let's get it.
I'm simply ball dropping, simply ball dropping. Okay. Chopping up these topics, man, I'm simply ball dropping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Nah.
Hey, let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. This my bro K-Sap, chopping up topics for your optics, from politics to your cockpits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man. I got something to say.
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap.
Well, guys, man, let's get this thing popping, man. Let's get it popping. Man, GBUSH was in his bag. And GBUSH got away with words, man, that'll cut you deep. And boy, what did he do to the Cleveland media today? Oh, man, he cut them deep. Even though he didn't appear on UCSS, he got him in a different way. Because GBUSH sits back and he listens to all the gibberish that this Cleveland media has put out there. And they still talking about this Brendan Sorsby situation. And it's crazy how Jay Crawford compared Brendan Sorsby to some of these NFL Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And then he's talking about you draft him, he's going to struggle as a rookie. Rookies have struggles. Nah, we can't let you do that. Y'all being hypocrites because y'all didn't let Shedeur Sanders struggle. Y'all kept on going at Shedeur Sanders over his struggles. But now you want to use it in the Sorsby situation, or he's going to struggle like all rookies do. Yes, all rookies struggle, but y'all didn't give that same grace to Shedeur Sanders. And that's the problem. So as y'all sat on UCSS today and y'all talked about this whole situation with Brendan Sorsby, G. Bush sat back in the cut and listened to y'all. But we're going to take a listen to what y'all said about this whole Brendan Sorsby stuff and this notion of Cleveland should take a chance on him because y'all looking to 2027 instead of staying in the present of 2026 and letting Shedeur Sanders rock out. So let's take a listen to what the boys had to say on UCSS. And then after we listen to that, we're going to show you how G. Bush called them out in the worst way as the Cleveland media hypocrites. Let's take a listen to what they were saying on UCSS.
Would be willing to bid on Brendan Sorsby.
No, and here's why. You're not drafting him for the first 4 or 8 games of his career. As a matter of fact, you probably expect him to be subpar for his rookie season. Most rookie quarterbacks struggle at some point.
Can't let you do that.
You're drafting him because you think that the comparisons that have been made to this kid, and yesterday, who was it yesterday? Was it Breer?
Albert Breer said he thinks he's going to be a second-round pick.
A bigger, tougher Baker Mayfield. I don't know if he used tougher, but I think he said
he just said bigger Baker.
I heard somebody compare him to Jackson Dart yesterday, too.
I've heard that, too. I've heard Jackson Dart. One kind of wild one out there that I heard was this person wouldn't be surprised if he becomes the next Brett Favre. That seems a little extreme. You're talking about one of the NFL's most prolific passers of all time. But the tape on this kid is fantastic. He is very highly touted.
Shedeur's tape was fantastic.
The fact that he bet on games and admitted to it. I saw yesterday that his agent basically said whoever takes him will have access to his cell phone.
Right.
To make sure that he doesn't. I laughed
all
at
that under the rug.
because no athlete has
That he
ever had
betted
burner
on team.
phones.
Yeah, right.
And so when I read that, I'm like,
What a joke.
I don't believe that a professional agent would actually say that with a straight face, but they did. Is the kid contrite? Maybe. I don't know. Is he ever going to bet on professional sports again? I would think it's probably less likely that he does it than someone else does it because he's paid the price. He got caught. And I think the one.
He's going to the NFL.
Well, he was going to get paid either way. He was, I said last Monday when I was on the show, and it was breaking news during the show that a Lubbock County judge had reinstated the kid, and I had laughed at the time. I go, "That will be overturned. Don't worry, this kid's not coming back."
Well, it definitely cost him money because he would have gotten paid a ton in college.
Yes,
and if he had done, or potentially cost him money,
he's still getting his NIL money.
If he
wait, hold on, time out. What?
Yeah. Still getting his full NIL money.
That's crazy.
Well, until Texas Tech files a suit.
No, Texas Tech just said we're done. Take your money and go.
Oh wow!
Well, that's how much money they have there.
Yeah.
Any other school would say, because even if you're Texas Tech and you have unlimited funds, it's still money that now you can't pay to the next kid.
But he had an opportunity to
That's stunning to me, Mike.
He had an opportunity to improve his draft stock and maybe be a top 10 pick.
I wonder if he put language in the contract that said, "I'm paid no matter what." And Tech knows that, which is why they would say publicly, just take your money.
In the statement they put out when they parted ways, they said, we're not seeking reimbursement. We're just done with the situation.
Right.
Taking it.
I'm just wondering if his agent, when he wrote the NIL deal, put in there one way or another, he would be paid this. That's the only way you're going to get him. He's going to go somewhere where he's guaranteed.
Would be
now
willing
you heard
to
what
bid
them guys
on
that they talked about it the way they talked about it. And it kind of pissed G. Bush off. And this is where G. Bush drew the line in the sand. And this is where G. Bush totally called him out in the worst way. Let's take a look at what G. Bush had to say. G. Bush said, "This is half of the reason I can't take some people seriously. The media is outraged and triggered by speeding tickets, but openly advocate taking a project quarterback with a gambling addiction. I'm starting to think some people really don't want the Browns to ever become a winning franchise." Then he also said, "The media paints a false narrative about Shedeur Sanders' character on a daily basis, claim he fell in the draft due to a bad interview process. Let me ask you a question we all know the answer to. If Shedeur bet on his team and was ruled ineligible, would the media advocate drafting him? Browns?" Then he goes on to say, "The media rave rightfully so, about how Emmanuel Clace and Luis Ortiz gamble investigation left a huge stain on the Guardians. Fast forward 6 months, and some media magically has no issue with Sorsby making thousands of bets on his own team. Selectively morally strikes again at the Cleveland Browns. Now you heard exactly and you saw exactly what G. Bush had to say. And this is what I'm telling you guys. The Cleveland media, basically, like G. Bush said and the way he wrote it, y'all are hypocrites. Y'all are advocating for somebody such as Brendan Sorsby to be a part of the Browns organization. And y'all so fixated on the speeding ticket that Shador got in the offseason and saying that he has character issues. And these are some of the reasons why he fell in the draft, because of the fact that the classroom and things like that. But Jay Crawford, he went on the sense and said that rookies struggle. Yeah, they do. But y'all didn't give the same grace to Shador Sanders. That's why y'all being hypocrites and been called out. So once again, the corporate chef entered the building in G. Bush, and he do what G. Bush do. And they have to eat this one because G. Bush did not tell no lies. And that's the crazy thing about the whole situation is G. Bush just let it be known that the Cleveland media, I can't take y'all serious because y'all advocate for one thing, but then if somebody does something in the offseason, such as a speeding ticket, y'all make emphasis on it. But like G. Bush said, if Shador Sanders was caught betting on games, would we be talking about people potentially drafting him? But Shador Sanders put out good college tape. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. You know what it is. And you know how it's always going to be. And I'm glad G. Bush shut it down like that. Man, y'all get down in the comment section.
I see everyone in the comment section. Hashtag salute. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you will know every time I drop a hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And that will wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one.